What's up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today with the review for Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 4, Episode 18, or Season 5, Episode 3, whichever one you guys want to call it. Before we go ahead and get into this episode review, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and you guys are not subscribed to my channel, I need you guys to do me a solid favor and please stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You guys can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, sharing the video, you guys. And with that out the way, you guys, without further ado, let's discuss Love and Marriage Huntsville, shall we? And also, you guys, remember, give this video a big thumbs up. Let's get into it. All right, you guys, so we still on this couples retreat with Dr. Francis. The Lolos, well, actually the Lolos are gone. So it's just the Scotts and the Scott 2.0. So Dr. Francis is having a conversation with Kimmy and with Maurice, you guys. I'm just going to go on ahead and say with this conversation with Kimmy and Maurice, I was really over it because you listen to Maurice talking, and I tweeted this last night about the show. Listening to Maurice talk about Kimmy and sex, right? So there's nothing wrong with a couple wanting to have sex. There's nothing wrong. I mean, we're human beings. That's what, you know, that we're humans. We have sex, right? You get horny. But when Maurice is talking about sex with Kimmy, if you just listen to it, to me, it sounds as if that's all she's good for, right? It's just like, you know, you, when I get, you know, me Tarzan, you Jane, I get home, have my food ready. After I'm got done eating, let's go to the room, burn them calories by having a little bit of sex, right? Just how it sounds, you know, when he said, it sounds barbaric, basically. And listening to Maurice talk, it's just like, it's kind of like it's a brick wall right there, and it's not really retaining anything that you're saying. It's just like you're throwing stuff at the wall, and the wall is just absorbing it, not really, you know, taking it in. So my thing with Maurice is the way Maurice is talking about sex is like, why don't you then go and get why don't you go and get a what did that tweet just say? Hold on, you guys. I'm gonna come back to you guys in just a minute because I just saw a tweet that I'm gonna come back to you guys in just a second because that tweet caught my eye. All right, you guys. So we are back. So I will address that tweet because it's about Melody and her conversation with Kimmy that's gonna come up a little bit later in the episode. But yeah, Maurice needs to either go beat his meat, find a prostitute that'll, you know, because, you know, you pay them for sex, they'll have sex with you as long as you want for however long you paying for it. Maurice needs to go do that because all Maurice wants is a warm hole to ejaculate in. Is literally all it's giving. So Tisha tells them, you know, I got a message from Tiffany saying that they made it home and to tell Dr. Francis that, you know, they appreciated what he did and they put in what, you know, he told them on the way home. I was like, huh? Girl, okay, if they say so. Child, what threw me in this scene was the fact that I saw when Tisha them sat down at that table. Now, I don't know how eggs are supposed to be cooked because I don't eat eggs. So I know a lot of people are saying that those eggs were runny. JB knows nothing about eggs, but what JB does know about is bacon. That bacon that they were eating, Wilbur the pig, Wilbur was not cooked all the way. Wilbur looked like he just came fresh from the piggy farm. And they just, you know, just cut him up into pieces and just said, plop, here you go. Because that bacon was so uncooked. I was like, oh, that is one of the reasons why I don't really do pork products. How do you have a private conversation? How does Kimmy and that's a contradiction. That wasn't a private conversation. Again, we're going to come back to that in just a minute. So yeah, they were eating Wilbur the pig and Wilbur wasn't cooked, right? So then Dr. Francis and his wife, what is his wife's name? Marlo. So they came in, right? And they noticed that the Lolos are gone. I don't care about the Lolos. Actually, guys, let's pause here. Let's just not pause, but let's kind of segue just a little bit, you guys. So I was watching Empress Radio yesterday, and I was seeing that. So you guys know with this season, this is supposed to be the back half of season 4, but on the guides, it says season 5, right? So Empress Radio was saying that they haven't, all the other owned shows have been renewed, but this show has not been renewed for a season. Well, I guess will be season 6 then, right? Since it's season 5. This show hasn't been renewed So I was like, So they're wondering, and then she also, Empress Radio also made notice to Melody and Martell. Both don't have Love and Marriage Huntsville in their bios on Instagram. Now I don't know if Letitia ever had Love and Marriage Huntsville in her bio, but it's not in hers either. But I did see it in Marcel's bio. How did I see it in Marcel's? Because I don't follow Marcel. Oh, I think I saw a picture of Letitia that tagged him. They promoting the hell out of that black wine. Y'all buying black? Are y'all buying that wine? Martell had a little event yesterday for his incest wine. Y'all buying incest either? Whatever. So Dr. Francis is talking to both Marcel and Maurice. Can I be real with you guys? I don't think Marcel nor Maurice got anything from this couples retreat. I don't believe the Scotts or the Scott 2.0s or the Lolos got anything out of this couples trip. But I want you guys to chime down in the comment section and let me know if you think that they got anything from this couples trip, because I don't think so. Let's pause here, you guys, and let's move forward. All right, you guys. So in this episode, we see Kimmy, and Kimmy is doing ghost producing at this point. So Kimmy is meeting up with Letitia and with Destiny. So I want to say this one thing real quick. Like I said, you guys are probably going to be upset with how I feel about this episode, and that's fine. If you guys have a differing opinion, that's fine. Now, Destiny, the one thing that I don't like about Destiny is the fact that Destiny is so secretive and she's so aloof to telling us anything about her life, but she's so quick to go and talk about other people, right? Because in this episode, she went back and regurgitated this conversation that Kimmy's going to have with them, right? So Kimmy and Letitia tell her about the couples retreat, right? She's like, why didn't I go? Because you ain't a couple. I was like, exactly. I was with Letitia when she said you ain't a couple. Girl, why would we invite you on a couples retreat if you're not a part of a couple? Well, she says she is. So they were like, so when are we going to meet him? She's been secretive about meeting him. I was like, okay, is the man married? No shade if he is, but something's off. Something's off with Destiny, you guys. I just can't ever put my finger on Destiny and why she's so secretive about things, right? So, child, I want Letitia to stop talking about them 15 years. Girl, you can do 15 years in prison. You can get to the age of the number 15 don't mean nothing. It means nothing. But hey, if she wants to keep talking about the 15 years, girl, go for it. So they talk about somehow they noticed the wine, and they were talking about Martell's wine, right? So when they talked about Martell's wine, when did my watch die? I'm glad it's died did anyway. It never hit 10%. Yes, it did. So they talked about Martell, right? And they talked about his wine. And somehow they segued into talking about Melnica, right? So Kimmy brought up the conversation that she previously had with Melody. Now, in this particular moment, I didn't notice, and when they played the replay back, I didn't really catch Mel saying that. I remember her saying that Melnica quit planning their wedding maybe 2 weeks before the wedding because she said that Martell was trying to sleep with her assistant, right? I remembered that part. I didn't even hear the part where Melody was trying to insinuate that Melnica and Martell has a situation going on, and Kim was like, isn't she married? Now, Melody did make one point, right? That, what does that mean, being married, right? What does it mean to be married to anybody? Because a married person, you can cheat, being single, married, whatever. So cheating is cheating. It doesn't matter if you got the ring or not. So I got that. The issue that I have with this situation is the fact that from what we saw and what we know in this show, I don't know that Melnica has ever come against Melody. So for Melody to then go and say that about Melnica, I didn't appreciate that, and I didn't like that. If this woman has never given you any inclination that she's sleeping with your ex-husband or then husband, why then mention it? You guys are not together anymore. I just didn't like that, right? So Destiny says that, she knows Melnica. She's known her for some years. And then she said, speaking of Melnica, she's invited to my relaunch of Madani. And you two are both invited, right? So Kimmy, once again, Ghost Producing, says, so does that mean that Melody and Stormy are invited? She says, that means we need to get security. Now I'm like, girl, you kind of foreshadowed that one, because you definitely need a security that day. And it wasn't because of Stormy. Scratch that. just thought about that. Stormy was there. Mel was. The whole cast was there, and it wasn't because of Mel and Stormy. It was because of Miss Wanda's mouth. But hey, that's neither here nor there, right? So then we see all the men, right? So they went to go play pool, and they talk about the retreat once again, right? And it's the funniest thing when it comes to Lewis. Lewis still feels some type of way about Dr. Francis, but once again, he is a doctor. So that's his job, to look at you, observe you, and give you his opinion. But you're upset about it. But then you did the same thing to Letitia and to Marcel. So once again, pot, please meet the kettle, because you guys are one and the same at this point. So I'm just not understanding Big Titty Lewis. Then Marcel wants to talk about his relationship, and I was like, wait a minute. Put the flag on the plate. I know Marcel is not trying to blame, because he keeps talking about outside forces coming into his relationship. Sir, you contribute to that. Your friend right there next to you, Martel, contributed to that with the 20 women. The view in public, we just see what we see on the show, and we just talk about how you treat Tisha, you gaslight Tisha. Tisha comes off as a dingbat. That's just what we see. And the only person you can blame for that is you, your wife, and Carlos for his editing. Don't blame us. Blame yourselves. And then, like I said, once again, I just don't believe that the Scotts 1.0 and 2.0 got anything from this relationship. Actually, not the relationship, from the retreat. And actually, let me delve deeper into what I'm saying. The Scott brothers, not the Scotts. The Scott brother, Maurice and Marcel. I don't think they got a damn thing from that couple's retreat with Dr. Francis. Not a damn thing came from that. So then Martel's talking about how he wants to be married again. I'm like, oh, so you're going to marry Sheba? She's a fraud? I guess. Child, I tweeted this too last night. There's just no, if I was a woman, you couldn't pay me any amount of money to cheat on me, to marry Martel. Because I feel like Martel will get into a relationship with another woman, and he going to do the same thing that he did in his first marriage. Any woman that marries that man, something's wrong with you. Look at his track record. It's terrible. Read the whole facts. Please and thank you. Read them whole facts, girl. Read those whole facts. All right, you guys. So let's pause here and let's move forward. All right, you guys. So next up, we see Melody. So Melody went over to Martel's house, right? And she just wants to have a conversation with Martel about the things that are being said on social media about their children. Now, I do remember somebody pointing this out to me months ago when this first happened. I do remember somebody saying that Martel had at one point questioned the paternity of, now I don't know which child it was that he questioned the paternity of. I didn't see it, so I'm gonna say allegedly, because I never saw it. I don't keep up with Martel like that. I do follow him, but I just don't keep up with him like that. But so yeah, if Martel ever questioned, but did he question Sugar Mama, y'all? So here's the thing with Martel. I know, and he's still saying it to this day. So I don't believe shit that Martel says at this point, right? Because Martel is now saying that Mel has been with 20 men. His frat brother, their attorney, he's saying that she's been with a lot of men, right? I don't believe him at all. Now, I did see when they were going back and forth about a few weeks ago, I did see him in his Instagram stories. He did post a video of Melody with another guy. I did see that video. I don't know what the context of that one was. If you guys know, chime in the comments section below, but I don't know what the context of it was. I don't know who the guy was. So I know he is alluding that she's, doing that kind of stuff. But I just don't remember. I never saw him question the paternity of his children, any of his kids. I mean, they all look alike. So I don't really know. You know what? Never mind. But yeah, so she's telling him about Miss Wanda questioning Sugar Mama's paternity, right? And I've talked about that before, how I felt about Miss Wanda doing that, and I thought it was disgusting that she did that. So this all came about. Now, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong about this one as well, but this is what Melody is saying. So I'm thinking that this stuff came about back when Carlos King's The Nightcap was on, right? And you guys remember the first episode, Melody and Monique were the first two guests, right? So Melody was talking about the fact that Miss Wanda's baby daddy, who is Tisha's father, was in her DMs. So I guess Miss Wanda didn't take too kindly to that, and that's how this whole thing spearheaded. You guys, again, like I said, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't keep up with these people like that. I do see certain things, but I don't keep up with them in depth. But yeah, you guys, let me know what you guys think. And we're gonna pause here and wrap up the episode. Alright, you guys, so let's wrap up the episode in Destiny. This scene right here with Destiny, they could have scrapped it. It just was blah, 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 blah. Only interesting thing about this scene was her son, Law. That little boy was about to snatch the hell out of her wig. I mean, at one point, he was behind her. He grabbed that wig. That wig was about to come up, but she stopped him. So, Destiny is on the phone with her new boo. His name is, what is his name? Zion? Moses. Okay, his mama named him Moses. I wouldn't give my kids any biblical names. I don't think I would give my kids biblical names. Just me personally. But hey, his name is Moses. She says she's known him for 13 years. They both have something in common. They got a divorce. She got a divorce. He got a divorce. When he found out she got a divorce, he was like, he ain't gonna let her get away from him this time. That scene was boring. Because that's really the gist of the scene. They were just talking. He's not going to be able to make it to her relaunch of Madani. She's in a long distance relationship because he lives in St. Louis. Yeah, nothing. Even when she tries to give us something, it's still nothing. So Martell is at some kind of wine place trying to get the people to see if they want to, potentially sell his incest wine. Again, I know Marcel he's really promoting his wine. I will give him that. I just have no intentions of buying that wine. One, I don't drink red wine. I don't like red wine. It's too bitter to me. I like a white wine. I'm a white wine guy. And I know somebody gave me a suggestion a few months ago about a red wine. I just haven't looked into it yet. But yeah, maybe I'll try it one day. I'll try a sweet. It has to be sweet because I bought a red wine once before and I was like, oh my God, this is the most bitter thing I've ever had. And I didn't finish it. I think my mom ended up drinking it because I was like, this is nasty. This is nasty as hell. So Destiny comes down. So this is why I say you guys are probably going to be upset with me because of my opinion. So now, granted, Destiny was being messy, right? So I'm not going to sit here and say that she wasn't being messy because she absolutely 100% was being messy in this scene when she was regurgitating to Martell what Kimmy had told her about him and Melnika, right? But Martell didn't take the bait, and I was kind of happy and proud of Martell for not taking the bait, right? Because she's telling him that Mel is saying that, maybe there's something going on between him and Melnika. He says he knows her husband. I was like, what the hell that got to do with the price of tea in China? People don't have affairs with people who they know their other person's spouse. Like that's never happened in the history of cheating. Okay. So, here's the thing. I don't like the fact that Destiny told him, right? But I'm not upset that she told him because here's my thing. Melody is the one who insinuated this. Melody said it on camera. So it was going to come up eventually, and I'm not saying this in defense of Martell. Absolutely not saying this in his defense. I'm saying it's in the defense of Melnika. Like I said earlier, from what we saw in this show, I've never from the times that we saw Melnika on the show, she's never said anything negative about Mel. So I didn't like the fact that Mel, like, you have your issues with Martell. You just drug an innocent woman and her marriage into your drama with Martell. Like, I just didn't think that was cool. Like, if you don't have factual proof that Martell and Melnika have done anything, zip it and don't bring it up. Don't say it. If you think it, that's one thing, but to verbalize it is another thing. And I just didn't agree with that. Now, so yeah, I didn't agree with Mel doing that, and I don't agree with Destiny bringing it up because I know she was deflecting, she was being messy, but I don't really have 100% of an issue with her doing it at all because at some point it was going to come back up and bite Mel in the ass. So let me know what you guys thought about that. And that is the episode. Drop down in the comment section, guys. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, and share the video, guys. And until the next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed, and I'll catch you guys later. And also, be sure to thumbs up this video, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye, guys.